Welcome to Local Omaha. I'm Ken Bartholomew.
And I'm Kelsey Weedle.
With each video podcast, we bring business owners, community leaders, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs. And this week, Kelsey, our guest is?
This week, I'm so excited to welcome Sara Hoogeveen. Sara, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. I am excited to learn all about your business. I have 1,000 questions. So first of all, tell us a little bit about you and how you decided to start this business.
Sure. So we moved to West Omaha from the Dundee area about 6 years ago. I was pregnant at the time. Great time to move. But we came from a place that had a really small yard, and I love being outside and I love gardening. And I always wanted to live in the country. My husband was not going to have that. He's a city guy, so this was a compromise for him and for me. And he's really grown to love the land too, I think. And it comes awesome with all the conveniences. And so it really started out as a hobby farm. And I really just wanted to feed my family food that I could be confident knowing that there wasn't anything sprayed on it, that it was healthy for their bodies. When my kids, before they were school aged and they spent the days with me, they would run out and pick raspberries off the bush and strawberries from the strawberry patch. And I just wouldn't have it any other way. It just melted my heart, and found myself having excess produce. So found ways to provide that to the community. And as that grew, kind of realized that that was something that the community also wanted. So as we continued to grow that, we kind of realized we wanted something to offset the homestead expenses. So then we started a farm in the garden summer camp for kids, and that helps us run the hobby farm, and then we can provide the community with produce throughout the season.
Oh, how cool. I was just going to ask that. So what's the official name of your business? Is the Hoogeveen Homestead?
Yes.
Awesome.
Hoogeveen Homestead.
I like that. It kind of is like a holistic, all-encompassing things, because I feel like you guys do so many different things. So the first thing you said was camps. Are you doing summer camps this year?
We do. We have summer camps this year. We've grown. It's our 4th year doing it. We started out doing 2 weeks in June, and now we're doing 3 weeks in June. And they're all themed, so kids can come for 1 week or 3 weeks, and it's a different set of activities each time. Our main focuses are garden exploration, so focusing on plant science, the root system, soil composition, composting, and chickens. We have chickens, so different livestock, and sometimes we'll have special guests come in with sheep or goats, or I'm working with an entomology department trying to get them come out. So we also have a focus on pollination and what all of our pollinators do for us. And it's not just bees, it's butterflies and beetles, and sometimes even flies. And the kids go out in our native wildlife area, or I should say native flora area, and identify a bunch of the different weeds and native flowers that are out there and how they benefit our pollinators. And then we also focus on sustainability, so reuse and recycling.
I'm so excited to hear all about this, because I'll tell you, first of all, I have looked all over for an entomology camp for like 6 years and not been able to find one. So I think there is going to be a huge interest in this. That sounds so cool. And the ability to have this in the middle of the city, I think is the best part.
Yes. So that's actually one of my favorite parts about it, is because I get a lot of kids that have not been out to any kind of farm, or maybe they don't even play in the dirt that much. And to see these kids come alive around all these bugs, at first they're kind of like, oh, we have to go look for bugs. But I will tell you what, 9 times out of 10, the boys are screaming louder than the girls when they find a bee. And it just kind of cracks me up, because the confidence level when they head out is opposite that. But to see, I send them out with little jars, and they come back with spiders and all sorts of stuff that when I was their age, I never would have touched. So it's really cool.
Oh, I think that's so cool. And I do think that's because I'm the mom that grew up in the country on like 25 acres, and my kids don't get that same experience. We live in Millard, which we absolutely love, the community, the businesses, everything there, but they don't get that, especially when they're older. So I love that you can offer that to people who maybe aren't as experienced with that.
Yeah. I'm kind of dealing with like a pesky squirrel right now.
All squirrels are pesky right now.
Well, the squirrel got into our attic, but so anyway, I was just thinking maybe your kids could help get rid of it.
So that's Ken's experience, right? The homestead.
Yeah. Whenever I hear people complain about squirrels or mice, I just tell them to get an outdoor cat. But nobody wants to do
Right. I need to put the cat in the attic, though.
Listen,
then,
outdoor cats, you can get a free barn cat from the Humane Society, man. Right. Free pest control.
No, we're going to get rid of the squirrel. Relocate, whatever.
I love this. I want to hear your thoughts on the whole homestead thing.
Well, I was going to ask, so to help people watching the podcast here, what kind of give a visual of like you pull up, what can they expect? Or
Sure. So when you pull up, it's our home. You will see our house, and in front on the roadside, we have a cart. It's our roadside farm stand. So that helps identify what you're pulling up to. When we have summer camp, we have a big sign that we put out front so you know where you're at. But really where all the magic happens is in the back of the house. And you can walk around back on either side, and people are welcome to do that if they want to see our setup. It doesn't look like much right now, but when we're growing things, it's really amazing. And if you go around the west side of the house, you'll walk straight into our what I call perennial harvestables. So that's our berries and our asparagus. And then if you walk around towards the back third, that is our native and our orchard area. So all of our native wildflowers, and then our fruit trees are back there. And then we have about 1,000 square foot annual garden. And so in there we do cut flowers for arrangements as well as different types of produce.
Oh, that's so cool. I really love seeing how people have used permaculture or just useful planning like that to plan out. So if we weren't clear enough, her homestead is kind of in the middle of Omaha, like about 180th and Q Street.
Yes.
So it's in this really unique space where you have some of these larger plots, but you have to still be careful to kind of utilize all of your space. So it's always interesting to see something like that. Was this set up when you bought your home? Was this something you had in mind when you bought your home? Did this just kind of
That's a great question. So when we bought our house, it previously had horses on the property, and the property was split into two parcels, I guess you would say. And so ours is about 1.2 to 1.3 acres total, and I farm about 0.4 to 0.5 acres of that. So when we moved in, there was a backyard, which we have fenced in now, but everything else was dirt. So it was a really unique opportunity to go in and really map out exactly where I wanted everything and what was going to go best where based on the sun and the slope and the wind and all of that kind of stuff. We didn't have any sod to deal with. I didn't have to rip anything out. Do I deal with weeds? Yes, of course. But otherwise, it was really a blank slate, and it just made it a really cool opportunity for me to go out there and just do whatever I wanted with it.
Oh, how cool. That is so interesting.
So you work with other individuals as well too, as far as what people are able to purchase, like you have other vendors that have
Yes, I have two at the moment.
Okay.
One is Yonker Farms in Plattsmouth, and they do our tallow skincare. So we have 8-ounce jars, I believe, of the tallow, and they come in various scents or unscented. And then she also does lip balms. And then my best friend, who doesn't have a business name necessarily, she's just a really good baker. She probably should do it. But she does the best cookies in the world. They are brown butter pecan chocolate chip cookies. Oh. And I've made them before myself and have had people say, these are the best cookies I've ever had. So she makes those, and then they're extra large dough balls. She freezes them, vacuum packs them, so they're ready to bake. It's a very easy take-home 18-pack of cookies, and you don't even have to bake them all at once. You can just take a few out at a time. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, so those are the two right now, and then hopefully as the season gets started, I have some projects potentially in the works of having maybe different seedlings and stuff out at the farm stand as well.
Nice.
Cool. That's so cool. So how much of the year are you able to have the farmstead out? Does that kind of depend on weather or supply? How do you kind of plan that for a business?
Well, to be honest, this is our first year with the farm stand on the roadside. We trialed it in a different location in our yard over the summer and decided to go ahead and put it roadside and stock it during the winter. So not really knowing how that was going to go, we've been pleasantly surprised. So in the winter, you'll find things like sourdough breads out there and simmer pot kits, and those are things that you boil to make your house smell nice. And then I have some of my preserves out there, which is Nanking cherry jam right now, and then some dried herbs, and of course the tallow skincare. And then I also make immunity tonics, so elderberry syrups and fire ciders that people can get during the winter because that's cold and flu season.
Oh, I feel like cold and flu season is right now.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
And then my kids have seen me doing this, and they have said, well, can we sell stuff on the farm stand? So my son makes origami, and he blows my mind. He's so good at it. It's
So cool.
incredible. So he has a basket out there with his origami, and then
That's cool.
my daughter designs polymer clay earrings, so she has those hanging out there.
Oh, that's
as
so
well.
neat. I love getting your kids involved in like kind of this entrepreneurial spirit. And I feel like you said your kids are 6 and 9.
Yes.
I feel like that's the age they really get into it. Like it starts with a lemonade stand and then it expands from there. That's
Exactly.
so cool. So is your whole family kind of involved in these endeavors you do, or?
Well, I would say my husband and I are kind of opposite in our interests where this is involved. He's very supportive in terms of like, yes, go do that. I love that for you. But he's not the most outdoorsy. You know, he's not going to be one that really digs in the dirt with me and stuff like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's really fine. All I really need is his support, because digging in the dirt is kind of like therapy for me. I spend my time out there, and
I love that.
yeah, it's like meditation.
I love that because that's my husband, and I'm like, okay, we can get chickens, right? Right. Sarah has chickens. This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So, have you run into any issues with this with your neighbors or anything? I always love to hear entrepreneurs who are running their business out of their home. Sometimes it's a dream, sometimes it's a nightmare. What has your experience been so far?
So far, so good. Our neighbors are amazing. We have the best neighbors. And I just try to be really cognizant too. When we first got chickens, it was my first time getting chickens. So I reached out to all of our neighbors and I said, this is what we're doing. If this becomes a problem for you, please let me know, because we want to learn and make sure that these are not going to cause problems for you or for our relationship together. And everyone was really receptive to that. And when we originally had our chickens first, we only got 4, and they would go into our neighbors' yards. They didn't care. They enjoyed it, because out there it is kind of a country.
Yeah, they're living their best life.
Yeah. And so they all kind of enjoy that kind of thing too. And with camps, I really try hard to put out very specific rules about when people arrive to drop off their kids and when they arrive to pick up their kids, just to slow the stream of traffic and not block the road and keep people off of people's grass as they park on the side of the road and things like that. So I just try to be really cognizant, and I always try to keep the lines of communication open with them so they can feel comfortable telling me if they do have an issue with something going on.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think
How many chickens do you have now?
Right now we only have 4.
Oh.
I used to have a few more, but
Where's this
kind
going?
of, I know, kind of ironically, and beside the point, but my son and I are sensitive to eggs.
Oh,
So, and my daughter just is picky. So she won't eat as many as we can have. And so we just ended up keeping a few for camp because the kids love chickens. And my kids of course, are attached to the chickens that we have. So they're just going to
I thought
live out
maybe
their
they
natural
were,
lives with us.
the eggs were at the stand as well. The product that you
No,
sold.
they're not. We used to have enough chickens to do that, but it didn't make sense for us to continue to keep as many chickens as we had. People think that raising chickens is great because then you don't have to go buy your own eggs, but it's really not it's not profitable.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. I'm in real estate, and it surprises me the number of people that I help look for a home that are interested if they can have chicken.
I'm
I'm
telling
like,
you,
seriously?
this is the thing,
That's
yeah.
way down on my list of things.
right.
Oh, my daughter's got it. She's like, I want a silky bantam. I want this. And I'm like, can you make a
But I
friend?
saw a video one time online where I think you picture the chicken as being healthy and having eggs for you every morning, but they get ill too.
I think
And you gotta
it's a
mess
lot
with
of
them.
work. I mean, Sarah, I'm sure knows,
Right.
but I have to. So I'm curious about the neighborhood. Do a lot of people in your neighborhood have chickens? Because I have to say, my kids went to a school very close to your neighborhood, and I think their favorite part of the day every day was walking by the house with chickens.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I really got to get them interested in one of your camps.
Yeah, that would be great. And in our neighborhood, I know we have one other chicken owner that's a couple blocks away. The house I think you might be thinking of might be directly on the other side of Q. They have a great big backyard. I know they have a bunch of chickens that you can see when you're walking along. So yeah, there's a few people, but not too many in our area.
Yeah, I love that area. It's really a mixed use, kind of just west of Q there. So, but it's also really available for people to like swing by your homestead after work, or they're going to pick up dinner and they can swing by and get their fire elixir. What's it called? Whatever it is,
Fire cider,
Fire
yes.
cider. I've got to hear about all this. I'm gonna have to ask Sarah a million questions because
No, that's great. When you mentioned the sourdough bread, my wife and I, as you go through life, you go through different phases, and we're kind of like, she's really into it more than I am now. I'm starting to come around, but healthy, like where did this come from? Where was it sourced? That type of thing. We had we'd mentioned that we had Tony Ellsworth here from Ellsworth Crossing. A lot of locally sourced items, organic meats, et cetera, that type thing. And bread was one of the things we were talking about. Number one, do we even want it in our diet? And then number two, if we do, sourdough. And it's like, where do you get it, or when's to get it fresh? Without additives and that type of thing. So.
Do you make your sourdough, or do you source that to another local
I
person?
do make it.
Oh.
So yeah, we make our own sourdough, and we also take orders for specialty sourdoughs, or if you just wanted it, maybe it's on the stand since yesterday and you just want a little fresher, we have a link online, and people will just order sourdough or whatever else. You can actually order anything from our stand, so I can set it aside for you in case you just want a specific time to come by.
And if they want to do that, can they do that through your Facebook page?
Yes.
The
There's
Hoogeveen
a link
Homestead?
in our bio.
Very cool.
And then especially with the freezing temps, we can't always leave everything out. So anything liquid, the fire cider, the elderberry, the jams, and the tallows all come in with me under 32 degrees. So if anyone did want any of that, they just need to let me know beforehand, and I can set it out. I'm home a lot. So
How neat.
So let's say it's springtime, everything's working great with the season and so on and so forth. What all items would be available when somebody comes in from your stand?
From our stand in the spring specifically. So spring is asparagus season. So we usually do a lot of asparagus during that season, and depending on maybe late spring, the strawberries might kind of start coming out a little bit. But spring is really known for asparagus as far as produce, and greens, of course. If we throw in some greens in the ground, I usually don't plant my garden until the last minute. So I would love to tell you what we're going to
Thank you for
have,
making me feel better, because I know so many people have already started their seedlings indoors, and I'm like, oh man, am I behind? But
Not quite, almost, but
Okay.
not quite. You still have a little bit of time
I love
left.
that. And I love that now we can outsource our sourdough. My husband got really into sourdough during COVID, and I think I gained like 10 pounds, but it was so good. But
It
it's
is
so much
very
work. And so I love that we can go find
It's so much work.
sourdough. Oh my God.
Oh, you mean to make it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I mean, I don't know, because
I thought you were struggling to eat it.
No, that's the easy part. Give me some Kerrygold and some sourdough. Well, you have to feed your starter. And I don't know, Sarah's probably the person to ask about this, not me. And then I walk down and there's flour everywhere, and I'm like, what have we been doing here? Let's
I do
call
get
Sarah
flour
for some sourdough.
There's always flour everywhere in the kitchen.
So then I guess now, I mean, I asked about the spring, but kind of take us through the seasons then. So summer into fall and the different products.
So to add one thing to spring, we also do cut flowers. So we have peonies, and I planted, I don't even know how many tulip bulbs in the fall. So we'll have those. And then I have daffodils as well. So just your typical spring flowers that will be blooming. And then through the summer, I usually do kind of your basic produces, squash and tomatoes and peppers and things like that, cucumbers, because I love pickling things, okra and cucumbers and beans, and gosh, I pickle all the things.
Do you have pickled asparagus?
I do, and it's the best. It's my absolute favorite winter
If
food.
you sell that on your farm stand, please let me know.
Okay.
Oh man, it's
I
so.
will.
Have you ever had pickled asparagus?
No.
It's also great for your gut
I love
health.
I like asparagus.
Yeah.
So how would it?
We just put in a Bloody Mary. No. It's great. Like Sarah said, I feel like you can pickle everything, beets, and it's great for your gut health. And she sounds like she's got a full menu for us. I'm ready.
And then we also do cut flowers throughout the year and a U-pick option. So I grow, last year I grew gladiolas and dahlias, and then this year I have a few other varietals that I've seeded already, snapdragons and poppies, and let's see, some other kind of filler things. So just bouquet type fresh cut flowers. And then for U-pick, you can come in and you can pick from those, or you can go out to our wildflower area and get some of those, and people just take the shears and the cup and go back out and do that. And we have a rain barrel so people can fill their cup up with rainwater to preserve their flowers while they're hunting around.
Cool.
That's cool. Do you ever do adult classes? Because I know I have 1,000 questions just listening to you.
Yes. So a couple of things to say about that. I have done adult classes in the past, and that has been fun. So that's always an opportunity I'm considering, and just trying to feel out from the community what you want to learn about, I suppose. And then the other kind of unique opportunity related to our camp is we have a camp parent opportunity, where a camp parent who wants to attend with their kid will apply, and then if they're selected, they go through a background check, and then they come and help run the camp with me. And then their child gets free admission to the camp.
Oh, wow. So you
in
both
return
get to
for
be
that.
outdoors.
Yes, because
that's
I
awesome.
kept getting comments of like, can I come to camp with my kid?
Yeah.
Do you need help? And I thought, there is a way to tie this in that's going to be mutually beneficial for everybody.
Oh, that's so great to hear, because I don't think I realized, because I grew up on a farm, that you just don't get that opportunity if you grow up. I mean, don't get me wrong, Omaha is great and I love our community, but you just don't get that opportunity to do something like that.
Right.
So, oh, how neat.
Kelsey had a pony.
I did.
I really wanted one growing up.
Oh, man, there's so much work. So did you grow up on land in the country doing all of this, or is this something you kind of started your endeavor in as an adult?
Sort of both. I grew up in a rural community, a farming community, so I did not grow up on a farm, but plenty of my friends had farms. And my mom kind of ran the flower garden, and my dad kind of ran the vegetable garden, so I had some exposure to growing things from them. And then as an adult, I don't think I really realized how passionate I was until I had this tiny little garden and I wanted more. I was like, this isn't enough. We need a yard. We're going to have kids. We need space. And I think after living in the city for a number of years, I really wanted to return to a bigger space, a little bit more quiet environment and things like that. And so I don't think I truly understood how ingrained it was in me until we moved to where we are now and I started doing it. It's kind of one of those things where if you could go back and do school all over again, you'd probably do something completely different. But it's worked out really well, and I've done different educations along the way that have helped it grow and prosper.
Oh, cool. I think that's our most passionate entrepreneurs are people who kind of just were like, I didn't expect to be doing this, or I didn't necessarily plan this. And then I realized, this is my passion. And then they get to turn their passion into a profitable business is just an incredible thing to see. So that's so neat.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I didn't know you were there.
Yeah.
And we're close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I know you kind of already mentioned this to a degree, but as far as the inventory or keeping it stocked, is that a daily routine? Are you stagger it? Is it set days a week, or how does that work?
It's technically open 24 hours. The road stand is there for you. So
Okay.
as long as the temperatures aren't below freezing, everything's out there and it's
Okay.
an honor system. There's a QR code and a cash box.
Okay, great.
So even if the doors are shut, because sometimes the wind blows them shut, you can go, and I have a little open sign on there and I pretty much never change it. Now that will change with the seasons in terms of me taking out produce and keeping it cooled and chilled, and it'll come in and out of the house with me and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, you can come by anytime and check it out.
Oh, neat. So you can pay cash, and then do you accept Venmo or PayPal or other
Yes,
methods like
That's
that?
the QR code?
Yep.
Very cool.
Right.
Yep.
Neat. I love that. I think people are kind of hesitant, at least I am kind of hesitant to pull up to somebody's house. I want to make sure they're open and everything, but I love that you guys have that going all the time.
Yes.
That's really neat.
I'll be there for sure.
I know, right? I'm already making
Because
a
I have not
list in
given
my
up bread
head.
yet.
I know.
And that's one reason we decided to move it out to the road, because we had it kind of back in the yard. And so then people have to pull all the way in up to
Right.
your garage. And I feel kind of the same way.
It's kind of like there's a barrier there,
Right,
even though there's not, that you still create one. Like, should I go up there? Yeah.
Which is very nice and respectful of people to think that way and not just feel like they can come up to my house anytime.
Yeah.
And it's also
Right.
just more convenient if it's down by the roadside. And then you don't feel like you're bothering me, even though nobody does. And then they can just be on their way right after they're done. So
Oh, how neat. What are some maybe barriers or problems that came up that you didn't expect when you first started doing this?
Wow.
I'm thinking gardening already, just growing crops, so many things can come up, but then you also have to account for the business part of it or
Right.
camp registration, or have you learned anything from big, not missteps, but things that didn't go the way you planned?
I think mostly one of those, if I could do it over again, kind of things is I would probably take another year and just focus on educating myself about the land and working with the land and things like that. Because I did certain things, like I bought a tiller only to learn that I probably shouldn't have tilled up all that land. So then you fight the weeds, and that's a lot better now than it was 5 years ago, because I've spent the last 5 years mitigating those mistakes. But my personality is also very much go big or go home. And so I get very passionate and very want to plow ahead. And so that was probably my biggest, and I'm not sure if I would call it a barrier more so than a misstep and just something I had to.
That's got to be hard with those things too, though, because I feel like you hear 1 year till, and then it's definitely don't ever till, and then it's like, oh, you want to put eggshells in the garden, oh, don't do that, and now we're not putting coffee in there. I feel like it's so hard because it's a science, but it's a science that isn't consistent.
Right.
So do you have to kind of learn things as you go as well? I feel like it's a never-ending learning for a project like that.
Absolutely, it is never-ending learning, and I feel like that's been a really big adjustment for me because I am a project completer and I really like to see a completed project. And it's really been a growth opportunity for myself just to realize that every year there's always going to be an ongoing, something's going to change, something's going to go wrong, and it's never probably going to be exactly how I expect it to be. And that's been really beneficial for me, I think, even as a mom, because as a parent, you either have high anxiety or you kind of let things go. And it's kind of the same with the land. The land's and Mother Nature's going to do what it's going to do, and you're kind of along for the ride and just kind of working with it as you go.
Do you find, I think sometimes that is either you think it's going to be more stressful, but when you get to a point you're like, so much of this is really out of my control. As a business owner, sometimes you would panic, but when you get to the point you're like, whatever's going to happen. Did that kind of shape your personality going forward with the business? Did you respond in a way that you think you would, or did that kind of mellow you out?
I think it kind of mellowed me out because I think it's one of those, if it's meant to happen, it will happen. And when it is out of your control, I think it takes the fear of failure out of it too. There's always a little anxiety, are the camps going to fill up? Is it going to sell? And at the end of the day, I just have to think about how does that really impact me if it doesn't? And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And so far, just having a mindset of it only takes one customer to come, and buy 3 things to keep the stand going, or, it only takes so many kids to sign up for camp to make it successful. And I've just been very lucky and blessed so far.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love to hear that. Because when you start a business like that, I feel like not only do you have to, we've run out of time a long time ago.
I knew she'd have tons of questions because this is right in her lane, but we are out of time. So thanks so much.
Unfortunately, thank you so much for joining us.
And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.